Real deal, Holyfield, and today's state of the market. So today's Astute advice, we'll knock that out of the way right now. Comparing apples to apples, and when it comes to mortgages and interest rates, your apples to apples are going to be your APR. So interest rates can vary between lenders and also how a lender or a loan officer structures your application. So when you're looking at different comparisons when it comes to loan estimates or just different lenders, it's very important for you to consider the APR, that is your annual percentage rate. And that is mandatory to be included in marketing and so forth for a reason. And that is because you can have so many different fees and upfront costs to get to a certain interest rate, which is great. But is it really that great if you got to spend an extra $15,000 to get to that rate? Probably not. Unless we work a deal and we get the seller to cover some of that, and we can talk about that separately. But ultimately, at the end of the day, your apples to apples comparison when it comes to loans it's going to be your APR. So you can have a lender that's quoting a very low interest rate, but if the APR is significantly higher, is that really the best deal? And that's something for you to consider. And that's today's Astute advice. With that in mind, I just want to give you all a quick, uncuffed, candid state of the market. So what is the state of the market right now, at least in my particular market in Central Texas? And I do feel like the Central Texas market is very similar to the general national landscape on average. Right now, baby, the market is marketing. When I tell you, it is literally like you can be having a conversation where we're multiple offers on this listing today. Another stale listing is sitting on the market for 60 or 90 days, and you're able to negotiate a deal, bring them down $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and closing costs and a home warranty. Like, that's what I'm doing for my buyers. And I'm also working with my sellers where we're standing firm and we're getting multiple offers. And I also will have some sellers, I'm like, man, we have had 2 price reductions and I am not used to these price reductions. This is getting very familiar. But sometimes we got to find that market, and that's just a piece of the process. So I will say that for many that think the market is, it's a bad time to buy, it's a bad time to sell. Listen here, I'm going to just keep 100. Everybody's been waiting on this crash and so forth since 2008. That was a very, very challenging time, a very rough time for the overall economy and so forth. But I will share this because I don't think many people understand the impact of the U.S., is in the United States real estate market. When the United States real estate market significantly declines, not like just a correction, because overall right now across the board in most places, especially in our local marketplace, the median home price continues to increase every year. So I think that's something to understand as far as I'm going to wait on this to come down. And look at the history. I know we're saying, but it's about to happen. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. And I'm not one to say that what can and cannot happen, because absolutely real estate is still a market. Nobody can predict the market. Nobody can tell you that this is what's going to happen, this is what's not going to happen. However, we can look at historical trends. And overall, real estate tends to recover, because if real estate does not recover, the United States economy is crap. And when the United States economy is crap, the world economy is crap. So therefore, there are quite a few forces that are in play to try to do as much as possible to create this soft landing or just this adjustment, so we're not inflating so significantly that it's not sustainable. It is very important for the real estate market to market. And right now, that is absolutely what the real estate market is doing. There are opportunities out there. You can find a deal. You can find a deal with the seller that actually has a really nice home in a great community that somehow it's been on the market 60, 90 days. Everybody's like, what's wrong with it? And actually, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfect home for you. We can work them down on the price and get your closing costs paid for it, and you can get a home warranty. And the ands. You can also be a seller that takes advantage of the extremely low inventory, because ultimately we still do not have a balanced market of inventory. So with that in mind, it's just more people that are interested and ready to buy than there are that are homes for sale. So that's something that you can utilize to your advantage. However, now we're in a time where you got to present the home. Okay, this is not that period where you can just put it on the market and somebody's gonna buy it. No, it needs to be clean, it needs to be prepped. Ideally, we want to stage those minor things and minor improvements. Go ahead and do them. That is the time in which we're in, and that is going to be some of the things that can pretty much make your home sell faster and for more money. If you don't want to do that, feel free to take and accept less money. And that's where I like to work with sellers to help them understand some of the most valuable pieces when it comes to return on investment, as far as what you can invest in the property, specifically cleaning and paint. Cleaning and paint goes a long way. And I do have some staging partnerships and like programs in which I will do your staging assistance, and we get a discount through the provider that I use for the actual furniture. But before we even talk about the staging, I can utilize some of the things that you have in your current home, because most of the time we just need to remove some things. Like, all right, take this down, take this down, take this down, take this down. Now we need to get it clean. Getting it clean is the biggest piece, and I'm so sorry that I'm harping on this, but some people's definition of clean, you'd be surprised how people live. Okay, and just because you might be used to it, that is not how a buyer that's going to come into this home making a very significant purchase, as far as, you know, a commitment of a financial burden, or, you know, financial commitment, I should say, is going to have as far as their expectations. So we need to get this place ready. It needs to smell good, it needs to look good, it needs to feel like home. That's what we got to do. We need to make your home feel like home for everybody else. And with that in mind, that's pretty much where we're at as far as an overall market. So ultimately, we all need somewhere to live. And I feel very passionate about this. That's kind of like the non-realtor / non-sales or business side of me. It is like literally, I consider home a spiritual place. Now, there are other aspects when we think about investments and investing in real estate and having something to build generational wealth. However, I truly do believe that home is a spiritual place, a place of peace, a place that you will raise your children, a place that you can go for comfort, for safety, for security, for, you know, the glorious highs of your life that you want to celebrate, and also some of the lowest of lows where you want to just be in solitude. Your home should be your safe haven and a safe place, and we all need somewhere to call home, to be our shelter. So ultimately, real estate ain't going nowhere. So we've been talking about this for years and years and years. Oh, the market, the interest rates are up, the prices are up, now prices are down. And right now, it really just depends, because interest rates are very volatile, because it is a market. The real estate market is a market. So you will never, ever time the market. You can think you're going to time it XYZ, but ultimately, just be prudent, be astute, and understand that in the long term, the real estate market tends to always recover. Now, again, nobody has a crystal ball. I'm not going to tell you this, but I can tell you one thing. Pretty much all of the world's, especially in the United States, millionaires, billionaires, whoever, the wealthiest folks have all invested in real estate. And I would beg to say that they may know a thing or two more than what I may know and what many of my viewers and so forth may know. And ultimately, we're all going to need somewhere to live. So even in recessionary times, guess what? That's when that is a great time to be a landlord. Again, be a landlord. That's when you don't sell the property, girl. You got a 3% interest rate. Keep that 3% interest rate. Rent that home out. Make $400, $500 a month. Stack that. Now you may have to hire a property manager or deal with some tenants. There are some risks and so forth that are associated with that. And if you still want to sell, you can sell. But ideally, I will tell my clients and I will tell potential leads, hey, you're in a position to where you can make significant cash flow by renting your property out. Now may not be the best time to sell, because interest rates are a bit high right now, because we had a time where pretty much we had free money and the prices were going up. So now we're trying to calm down these prices, and it's absolutely working. But after a while, and it's already happening, people will readjust. So there's like this sticker shock, and like people are like, oh, wow, interest rate used to be 3% or 2%. Well, those days are gone, and I highly doubt those days are going to come back anytime soon. That was a pandemic era. So if you got one of them low rates, hey, hold it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not one to also always push the narrative of buy the house, date the rate, but I'm thinking about buying a home myself right now, because the deals are out there. Like, the deals are there. Like, now you can actually negotiate, and you can actually negotiate repairs. You can get the full home warranty. You can get all your closing costs covered. Like, I mean, I have literally ran the gamut when it comes to negotiations, because people have this fear and uncertainty when it comes to sellers right now. So they don't necessarily know exactly what's going on in the market. When I promise you, like, again, let me not misspeak. I don't want to make promises, but I personally believe The market will always recover. The real estate market will recover. It's just making sure that you can afford the payment that you're locking into, and that you have the luxury or you have the ability to hold out over time if it's not necessarily the best time to sell. And right now is the time to find those deals. And if you did want to refinance, once we do have lower interest rate times, that's what you can do. So you still have the home. You hold the home. Your home price is not going to change. So if you bought the home at $300,000, you bought the home at $300,000. Now your mortgage payment is going to be significantly higher at a 7% interest rate than it would be at a 4% interest rate. So whenever a shift happens in the market to where now we have 4% mortgage rates, that probably would be a good time for you to do a loan analysis and see if it would be beneficial for you to refinance and get into a lower rate. If you're in a conventional loan or something like that, that could also be an opportunity for you to knock off that PMI so you don't have to. And if you're in a VA loan, that could be an opportunity for you to refinance out of your VA loan, snag a lower rate, and now you freed up some of your VA entitlement. So if you are looking to purchase another home, you can ultimately rent out that home and go to another home. So I love working the numbers. I love making it do what it do, baby. If you want to make it do what it do, call down McShan so we can make it do what it do. But that is today's astute advice and just my overall sense of the market. So at the end of the day, I truly believe that if and when you're ready to buy, both emotionally and financially, as in you qualify and you have a really firm finances, because we have down payment assistance and so forth as programs, but still buying a home is still a financial commitment. So even when it comes to having a certain rainy day fund for some of those emergency repairs or home maintenance things, those are all things to be mindful of as the overall cost of ownership. Not to mention taxes, especially property taxes in Texas, because they are a fool. When I tell you a fool. Although we do have some tax relief coming, it's going through the legislation. So hopefully we'll get some higher homestead exemptions and so forth to help ease the burden of property taxes in the state of Texas. Because we had a surplus. They got money just floating around out here, and people struggling to pay these property taxes. So with that in mind, at the end of the day, the market's going to do what it do. When you're ready to make your move, give me a call. I would love to help you all. Again, my name is McShan with eXp Realty. You're an astute agent. Feel free to follow me on social media at Dmac_the Realtor. Again, that's Dmac_the Realtor, or you can go to McShan.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with you all again soon. Take care.